Hello everybody and welcome to my 80-second VBA 2010 tutorial. And this tutorial is going to show you how to add multiple parameters into your command object and also how to use different data types in your parameters. So I've added a new module and it will be in tutorial 92 in my downloadable source documents, where the link for that will be below onto the website. It's just got a list of all the different number values that you need to use for the different data types. And so we're going to be using these in these tutorials. I'll show you how to use the different ones. And I've created a new database table that just has user ID, date added, and age. So it's got a text field, a date field, and a number field. So I'll show you how to use these three, and then hopefully any other data types you should be able to work out how to use yourself from using the different list of data types. So let's get started. I've made a new sub called add new field, and I'm going to dim a few different things. So first of all, I want to create my different fields to give them values. I'm actually going to have, say, user ID as string, date added I'm not going to add, and dim age as long. And then let's set the values for these. So user ID equals environ bracket username. So that's just going to take the value of the user's login details from the Windows environment. And let's put age equals to, I'm going to put it as 25 because that's my age. The date we're going to take from the current system dates, so I'm not going to bother putting in these bits here. So let's then move on to our next set of objects. So we want to create our command object as object, and we want to create three parameters. So param1 as object, and then just copy that down, and we'll have three parameters: param2, param3, and we want a SQL string. So dim SQL string as string, and SQL string equals, and we're going to do an insert this time. So insert into new users, which is my new table name, and then user ID, comma, date added, comma, age. And then I'm going to start a new line, say ampersand underscore values, and let's make sure it's all capitals, open bracket, and then we're just going to put in our parameter names. So I want to have user ID, comma, at date added, comma, at age, and then close bracket. Notice how much tidier it is than a normal insert statement. It's just really neat because we're not using any of our apostrophes, hashtags, any concatenation with other types of things in SQL. It just makes our SQL string really tidy as well, which is nice and useful. And then that's going to be our SQL string. So let's create our command object. So set command equal to create object ADODB dot command, and then let's set it, assign it the connection. So call connect database, and that's going to use the connect database sub that we've already defined in our database connection module, again, which you can download from the source files on the website, link below. And then let's do command dot active connection equals dbcon, same as in the last tutorial. And then we want to do command dot command text, and then that's just going to equal our SQL query. We then want to add all of the parameters. So set param1 equal to command dot create parameter open bracket, and we want the name of our parameter. So my first one is user ID, and the data type is going to be 129, the same as in the last tutorial, and then our statutory 1 to show that it's input, and our field size 52, and then I'm going to have the value of it is going to be our user ID variable from the top, so user ID. And then let's just copy this down. And this one is going to be our date added. And if we just go into our data types and look for a date type, so that's number 7, so number of days since December the 30th. So our add date. So we want to put 7 in as our data type. And the size, I'm just going to make a bit bigger. And then here's the user ID, I'm just going to put in the date function that gives the current system date. And so that will put that in. For this one, I'm going to take my age. And let's just check our data types. So let's use a integer, so value 3. So let's put in 3 here. I'm going to keep it as 52. Actually, let's make that bigger. Let's put that as 250. That's just the size of the field. And then user ID, I'm going to switch out for age. We just need to rename the parameters to match with our variable names. So now we need to do append these 3 parameters. Let's do command dot parameters dot append param1, and then let's just copy this twice and put 2 and 3. And then finally, in order to run our command, we just put command dot execute, and then that we use instead of our dbcon.execute that we normally use. So it's just a little bit, just skips out a little bit, so because we've already assigned the connection up here, so we just have to run our command now. And then I'm going to set command equals nothing, and set all of my parameters equal to nothing, just to tidy up my memory and make sure Excel doesn't leave any of them open. And just do that for each of them. So parameter 1, parameter 2, parameter 3. And then finally I'm going to call my close database function, which again is from our database connection module up here. And so that's it. That is the entirety of our insert. We've got 3 different parameters, one which is a date, one which is an integer, and one that is just a string value, same as we did in the last tutorial. So if I press play now, and it's going to run fine, I've got no errors, and so if I go into my database and open up my new users table, you'll notice that that's been added in as such, which is fantastic. So just to recap, you create an SQL command using your parameters with @ at the start of them to signify them. Don't need to worry about apostrophes, don't need to worry about hashtags, don't need to worry about any of that. You then create your command object and assign the database connection to it, and you also assign your SQL query to it. We then set up our different parameters using our parameter data type number in here, and then we append them to our database as such. And then we just execute our command, and then we shut everything down. And that is the entirety of our code. So if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below, or go onto the forum in the link if you want to paste some code you've got. And that's going to be it now for active data objects and SQL. So over the next few tutorials, I'll start to show you how to manipulate other workbook objects other than the one you've got open, other Microsoft Word objects, how to look for files on the system and things like that using file system objects. So please subscribe for the new tutorials that will be coming in the next few days, and like us on Facebook, link will be in the description, and you can get notifications about anything that's happening with any new tutorials or anything. So thanks for listening. I hope to catch you in the next tutorial.